the whip of the Jubilee Party in the National Assembly, the Honorable Sabina Chege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, on the onset, I want to say that I am once very happy when I see members on the divide happy about the budget and the allocations that have been done and distribution that has been done, Mr. Speaker. I was just reflecting on the journey that we have come as a nation, Mr. Speaker. From 1963, when we got our independence, there are three things that the founding fathers wanted to fight in this nation. That was poverty, ignorance, and disease. And very interesting, Mr. Speaker, we are still speaking the same language, addressing the same things. When you talk about ignorance, it's about our education sector. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm very happy that we are trying to address the issue of university funding, and especially the funding model, where we have many students, Mr. Speaker, who are able to join university, but they can't proceed because of the high fee. And I'm just hoping, Mr. Speaker, as majority of us in this House went through the university through HELP, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to finally have a proper solution for HELP so that our students, once somebody is admitted in the university, automatically they qualify for HELP. And then parents don't have to worry whether their children will join or not join the university. And as they go in, then there is a way that we can be able to see how and the level where we can be able to assist the student without making it complicated, Mr. Speaker, because some of these things are so easy. I don't know why we complicate them for our students in such a way that we have very bright students who miss education because of lack of fees. Mr. Speaker, I'm also very happy that now the debate about funding the exams is done, because this is something that was being politicized by some people about exams and whether our students will be able to sit for exams or whether the parents are going to pay for them. And so from the Ministry of Education and especially from the Departmental Committee on Education, it was very important for them to address this issue of exams. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that one day we don't have to make our exams so complex that the exams have to have special codes. They have to go to be printed out of this country, that our students have to be manned by a police officer when they are doing the exams. Surely these are young souls. I don't know why then we don't train our either teachers or the students because it's a matter of integrity, that you don't have to have the policemen. We don't have to really have even the police coming in very early in the morning guarding the exams papers. We can have a way that we can be able to have an exam that is free, and I'm happy with the new CBC that there is continuous assessment in such a way that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have to wait for the last 8 years, and a child has been in school from class 1 or even from 4, that's when we are grading, and that one exam determines the life of a student. So I'm very happy with the new system of CBC, and I am hoping that then we will minimize a lot of bureaucracy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of times when you go to the ground, we have our elderly people, and I hope the Social Protection Unit and Department have addressed this matter. We still have our elderly persons who require social support from the government, and I know we have made steps and very good steps on how to finance them through the funds, and they are able to access to the money, but still majority of them are not registered, Mr. Speaker. And I hope as that age comes in, where we know somebody has gotten to the age of, if it's 70, that automatically then you are able to go, just show your ID card and you can be able to access to this financing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as majority of the members have talked about equalization and what goes to which sector, I'm very sure agriculture can address the issue of poverty in this nation. We have very good land. We are the equator, Mr. Speaker. I had a privilege to accompany my speaker to Brazil, and I saw the government is using not a lot of resources, but educating their farmers, having extension officers, giving them the proper seedlings, teaching them on the best practice on farming, introducing irrigation. You were in a place where it's like northeastern, but there's one river, and they have just diverted that river to the shambas, and farmers are able to farm through the help of the government, and they are doing a lot of exports. And so, Mr. Speaker, I hope that one day we would sit down and drop the politics, sit down and analyze how our nation is divided. And we can tell this crop can do well in this region, this one can do very well in this region. Go get farmers, put them together, train them, give them the proper seedlings, and I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to develop. And by the fact that this budget is here today, having Honorable Atandi as a chair, and a lot of members saying he has done a good job, I am convinced now beyond any doubt that I was right in the beginning to say I'm not going to the streets. I was right, and I've been vindicated when I said I will join the current government because we don't have any other government until the next 2 years to come. And it has been proven, Mr. Speaker, that we can be able to make changes in this house. That this house has a lot of powers. You are the one who allocated the resources. So we cannot go and complain outside there. Even if we go picket, even if we go for demonstrations, at the end of the day, we have the power. And I'm very happy today that the Homa Bay people can smile, and they're happy that they have a stadium. I've heard Honorable Rosa saying about the roads in a specific village in her place, and that tells us, as honorable members, once you are elected, whether you are elected with that government of the day or you're in the minority or majority side, that you have your power, you can come and lobby your members, you can come here and convince members of this house to support the area that you come from. And so not necessarily that we have to go and fight out there. And if we hold this house with dignity, Mr. Speaker, I am very sure what happened last year will not happen this year. And if we communicate well to Kenyans on what we are doing in this house, we will regain our dignity and the respect that that name we bear as honorable members actually becomes honorable. And so today, I'll sleep a very happy person to know that this house, for once, people have come together, we are reasoning together, we are working together, and I can only say long live broad-based government. Mr. Speaker, some people take peace for granted. Some people are busy inciting Kenyans against the government that is working for them, against the members of this house, but I also want to remind them that you elected that member of parliament to come and represent you. Instead of that member of parliament to come and tell you who you will elect 2027, who you should follow, and creation of some small demigods in this country, the person whom you elected should come and tell you how they sat in this house and mobilize for resources to go to their region, Mr. Speaker. And so I hope we can be able to change. And with this budget, I'll only mention one thing. We need to eliminate wasteful expenditure. The little we have, let us share. But most importantly, let us not be extravagant. Let us prioritize what is important for this nation. Let us see other areas, especially when we talk about diseases. Ministry of Health. Mr. Speaker, a lot of money comes in, not just from the government, but also from donor funding. But is this money utilized well? We have now UHC, we have now the SHA, which is the Social Health Authority. Mr. Speaker, we know there was a lot of dealings happening with NHIF. People could just sit in a corner in a hospital and write down some ID numbers, go claim from NHIF that they have treated people. But now with SHA, an OTP has to be sent to your phone for your confirmation that you as a person, you are the one who is being treated. And so the many loopholes that were there, they're no longer there. And that's why you saw the cartels in the beginning fighting SHA. But today I can comfortably say, I know and I'm a witness, SHA is working. What do we do? Where we are failing, whether it's on the system, we can always improve. But let us support. And most importantly then, not to forget very important people. We have our doctors, we have our nurses, we have our police officers. These people, day in, day out, even when tomorrow there's a holiday, they don't enjoy any holiday. So let us also minimize the unrest that we have within the labor. And that means then if there are any agreements that were done before, let us sit down, look at our doctors, our nurses, our teachers, our police officers, and we make sure that they also enjoy the kind of work and the sacrifices they make for this nation. And Mr. Speaker, as I thank you, I want to say I support and well done to the Budget Committee, well done to this House, and I can see there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jubilee Party Whip. The Honorable Mark Mwenje will now make his contributions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And right from the onset, I'd want to congratulate the Budget Committee, now led by the Honorable Atandi, for a job well done, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as you're well aware, and I know we should never draw the Speaker into debate, but those of us who've been in Azimio, for about 2 years, we've been in Maandamano in 2023, last year. And Honorable Speaker, some of us as members of Parliament and by extension our constituencies have been punished. And I am one of those who can say, because in the budget for 23-24, the budget for 24-25, my constituency in Embakasi West, whenever I tried to get something in there for my constituents, it always got lost somewhere in between. And I have to believe, Honorable Speaker, that my close association with the former Prime Minister Raila, being part of the Maandamanos, had an effect on those issues, Honorable Speaker. And now, Honorable Speaker, I can say, and with this budget, and I can say that my constituency in Embakasi West, finally, I feel like I'm a part and parcel of this process, that we are getting something. That when you say there is a broad base, now I can see it somewhere. Because, Honorable Speaker, some of the roads, and I want to speak about my constituents because we are a budget-making process, but I'm here sent by the people of Embakasi West. There is a road I've tried to consider in my constituency, Firoz, Tononoka, an area around there. And 2 years in a row I've tried it. I can't just get it, or it gets in, deleted at some point. But this time, at least, I've made it this far, Honorable Speaker, and I believe the Honorable Atandi will be fair to ensure that we get to the end, Honorable Speaker. There are boreholes that in Nairobi, people don't realize we have a problem of water in Nairobi, but we have some boreholes that have been sunk in my constituency, and a few more are coming, Honorable Speaker. And these are things that we can appreciate that are coming in this budget, Honorable Speaker. And by extension, speaking about even the supplementary that we did just the other day, Honorable Speaker, I can consider certain areas of my constituency, Honorable Speaker. In Molemod, there's an area known as Kwamaji, Umoja 3, Superlove. In Umoja 1, there's an area known as an SDA road, Lim area, Tena Road. Karobang South, I'm able to add some more classrooms, do a road close by the Catholic Road. And these are the benefits, Honorable Speaker. I'm able to speak here with confidence that we have over 70 new additional classrooms coming into Embakasi West, Honorable Speaker. And this is by extension what we mean by having an equitable and fair budget that goes all round, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the last 2 years, I know there's a common misconception that Nairobi is fully connected with electricity, Honorable Speaker. And in the last 2 budgets, the whole of Nairobi County got a maximum of about 150 million. Now we're able to get a bit more. We have some slums in TJ's constituency, in Ruaraka. We have some in Mathare. We have in Embakasi West, Embakasi South. And we provided that there be social protection so we can connect electricity to those people living in those slums at a minimal cost and do some form of social protection as we are still working towards the affordable houses, Honorable Speaker. So at least through, and I want to thank the CS Wandai because he was able to call Nairobi MPs and look at that problem intensely and budget for it. And that is something that has been provided for, Honorable Speaker. When it comes to education, Honorable Speaker, we must remember grade 10 is on its way. So next year, members should be aware that with grade 10, the issues of bursaries, the issue of capitation, that is an issue that is going to be quite dominant at the beginning of next year. And that is something that we've seen that there's money that has been put in. That is why even the money for the exams was quite a sensitive issue. And even funding for help. Honorable Speaker, you've seen so many students, university students being sent home. We all know the pressure that has been on NGCDF to provide bursaries to these students. And yet we know NGCDF cannot fully fund university students. But it's important that help gets funded so that we can do we can educate our students. So, Honorable Speaker, there's a lot, and I don't want to repeat what most members have gone through, but it is one thing to have a budget estimates brought to the floor and members leave here disgruntled. And it's a different thing when you're able to show some equity across every region, regardless of how they voted, Honorable Speaker. That is something that is quite key. And it's important, Honorable Speaker, that I point out. I know at times people look at the side of Nyanza or the other areas. Even here in Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, this has been an opposition stronghold. So we've been suffering here in Nairobi, and we are glad to see that we're able to get something here in Nairobi, because it should be important for everyone to know that in Nairobi there are still problems. In Nairobi is the one place where if you don't get something to eat, you sleep hungry. You know, Honorable Speaker, in certain areas you can walk into a farm, get some maize, you can walk by a lake, try and fish something. In Nairobi, you're left with nothing. You can only steal, and it's not something we want to encourage, Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, I want to throw some caution. While this House has been graceful with what we've done, this ruling that came out today, Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate the members who've helped us here, Honorable Speaker, including yourself. The ruling that came out today, I'm a bit cautious. I didn't hear it. I've not had the advantage to read it, but I've seen some experts, some excerpts out there, which I need to understand. I don't know if we were able to get some stay orders, because it seems as though Kera has been lost, or we've lost some amount of money, Honorable Speaker. Perhaps...
Order, Honorable Mark Mwenje. Your Speaker knows better, and the substantive Speaker will at his own chosen time brief you. But I can assure you, the court has made a very good decision, a decision that secures that all those roads agencies are there, a decision that essentially unfreezes the monies, the over 10 billion which was frozen before, and makes it available for those roads functions under KERA, which has been saved. And additionally, even with the declaration of unconstitutionality, the High Court has been gracious enough to suspend that declaration. So we are back to status quo before even the judgment and even the previous ruling. So don't go into that area.
Okay.
Our substantive Speaker, the Right Honorable Dr. Francis Masika Moses Wetangula, will brief you at his own time. But don't worry, don't debate it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I've also seen some people wiping their tears by distorting that ruling through the media. But just ignore it. We are leaders. We know what the court said and what we should do.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I stand guided, Honorable Speaker. And as I said, I made a disclaimer because I wasn't present at the ruling. And I'll trust your better judgment, Honorable Speaker, and I'll drop that matter at that point. Honorable Speaker, the only other issue, you know, the great county of Homa Bay hosted Madaraka Day, Honorable Speaker. And we've been having the debates of the people who were approved by the House yesterday. And I think the Honorable TJ went into great length explaining how we have several members of Parliament from Homa Bay, including the Cabinet Secretary of Finance, who used to sit with us here, Honorable Speaker. And it was one of my tutors who was teaching me especially about the finance bill last year, Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, I want to just send him some advisory note, Honorable Speaker. He will be here delivering the budget estimates for the financial year 25-26, Honorable Speaker. He was here, and he promised us about the 52 billion, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Mbadi, by the time he comes here, we don't want to make it uncomfortable for him. Let him come with the 52 billion for CDF as he delivers his budget, his 4.3 trillion. If we are going to trust him with 4.3 trillion, and we do, Honorable Speaker, I state on the record, we trust him with 4.3 trillion. Surely, 52 billion, and it's less, Honorable Speaker, it must be less than 30, what is remaining, Honorable Speaker. I'm sure he can deliver that as he brings that budget so that he can take this country moving forward. With that, Honorable Speaker, I congratulate the chair for the budget committee and tell them to keep up this work. Make sure it is always fair going forward. Thank you.
The Honorable Daniel Manduku, who is the MP for Nyaribari, Masaba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Samuel Atandi-led Committee on Budget and Appropriation has done a commendable job. I'm not an expert in finance, but Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the proposed expenditure and estimates, and I can comfortably say that this committee has for once balanced the revenue side and the expenditure side while minimizing the deficit. And so, Mr. Speaker, I think from the onset I want to commend the work done by the committee in trying to ensure that we get some discipline in matters financial. Without repeating what most of my colleagues have said, let me highlight a few issues or areas that I think are very key and pertinent to ensuring that we have a disciplined financial sector. Number one, I want to commend the committee for ensuring that the Kenya Revenue Authority, who are mandated by law to collect taxes on behalf of this country, in ensuring that they have been given resources to expand the tax base. And more than that, implement a new system so that we minimize human interaction and therefore eradicate possible areas of conflict or corruption. Mr. Speaker, if we ensured that 70 to 80% of our tax-raising measures are tech-driven and that there's no human interface, I will assure you that under the guidance of a very able Commissioner General, Mr. Watanga, this Revenue Authority will be able to surpass its current targets. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, there are good signs, given that already in areas tax collection and with specific reference to value-added tax, we can now see the committee doing very well and in fact exceeding expectation. Something else that I want to commend this committee, and in hindsight, remember what we went through last year, there are no adverse tax-raising measures in this budget. That we've been able to make a budget with resources that we already have, or with resources that we can easily attain without further burdening the taxpayer. Mr. Speaker, something else that I want to highlight is that on the issue of public debt, this House resolved that going forward, we would have a mix of 70% to 30% being the ratio between the ratio between foreign and domestic debt, and that in the medium term, we hope that we shall achieve this. Going through the proposed borrowing this year, I can comfortably say that we are getting there by following the recommendations of this House. Mr. Speaker, on local matters, and knowing that I come from Kisii County, let me highlight that I'm extremely happy to know that this committee has allocated a total of Kenya shillings 1 billion in this financial year for the construction and completion of the Kisii Cancer Center. Mr. Speaker, where we come from, we have serious cases or challenges in the areas of cancer. And with the plans to elevate the Kisii University to a full medical college, we are sure that this center will be a reference in the region and that it will surpass Homa Bay and other neighboring counties in giving or providing quality health care for our people. Mr. Speaker, I am a person who strongly believes in affordable housing. And I want to say that if there were any people who doubted that this country can actually change, they should come and see the new houses at Mukuru Kwanjenga slums. Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that in the next 5 years, we will have magnificent structures housing our people with quality sanitation. And it is in this light, Mr. Speaker, that I want to say, and thank this committee for giving adequate resources in ensuring that not only shall we complete the ongoing affordable housing projects, but also that we shall have decent markets spread across every constituency. And I dare say that these markets will be game changers because they come with proper sanitation, proper working spaces, places for mothers and children to rest, accessibility, safety, and security. Mr. Speaker, this committee has also recommended that money is set aside for the payment of the universal health staff who have been out here on many days. I want to thank the committee also for setting aside funds for the recruitment of the junior secondary school interns. Mr. Speaker, these are areas that, if well funded and well supervised, would make a big and significant change in the development of our country. Mr. Speaker, there's something else that many members have not talked about, and this is in line with the innovative way of securitizing the road maintenance levy, so that we can have most of our projects or road projects that have stalled for long being able to be complete. On other areas, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it is commendable that we are putting adequate funds in the TVET sector and even more money in ensuring that we grow our talent through the area of sports. Overall, Mr. Speaker, having sat in this house now for more than 2 years, I want to state that this budget has a very high level of equity, that you can finger out monies being sent to virtually every county and every region. How I hope that this will be the spirit going forward, and that by the end of our term, we shall tell our people that this is what we did. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this proposal and hope that we shall implement it as we go forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Deputy Leader of the Majority Party, the Honorable Owen Bye.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I want to contribute to this debate by saying this at the beginning, Honorable Speaker, that a budget is usually either a tool of equalizing a country or marginalizing a country. That's a key principle when it comes to national budgets. You can use a budget like we have today to marginalize certain areas and boost others. But you can also come to a level where you want to equalize a country. And this budget, Honorable Speaker, the one that we are debating now, is such a tool that will be used to equalize the country. I have seen in this budget where resources have been put in, virtually almost every part of the country is benefiting from this budget. Probably, Honorable Speaker, is the only budget since independence that we have such a budget, thanks probably to the broad-based government that we have. Honorable Speaker, this is an important principle, and I want to ask other chairs of budget committees and people who have been given the task to budget, to ensure that we follow this spirit, the spirit of ensuring that every budget that comes in tries to equalize the nation, the country, so that resources go to every part of the country. Never again should we have a situation, Honorable Speaker, where we have marginalized areas and areas that have made huge progress, areas that have been left 10 years behind others, Honorable Speaker, or other areas which are 10 years ahead of others. Honorable Speaker, this is one of the things that I want to commend the committee on. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, on a general principle of budget, I want to say that a budget also can be used as an economic stimulus package. How you distribute the money. Because many times you hear people, yes, the economy is growing, and we can see the figures, the numbers. But then people still tell you, we are not feeling it in our pockets. Because probably the money has been put in areas that does not spur economic growth. Areas that are more consumer, I don't want to use the consumer, but areas that are more building more infrastructure, for example. And yet, Honorable Speaker, the money is not coming into expenditure issues, and therefore you have a problem. For example, Honorable Speaker, why I say this is an economic stimulus budget, we have increased resources in agriculture. When you have resources in agriculture, you are talking about productivity. When you're talking about productivity, you are talking about stimulating the economy. We have resources that are going into building markets, Honorable Speaker. When you have resources that go into building markets, you're actually encouraging and anchoring the economy in a market-driven economy, Honorable Speaker. So this budget has two principles that have been achieved. One, the principle of using a budget to equalize a country, and secondly, to use a budget as an economic stimulus package to allow the economy to flourish and put money in the pockets of people. And I want to assure Kenyans that having looked at this budget, having gone through it, I think money will start flowing into the pockets of people if it is properly implemented. Honorable Speaker, the other question that comes into my mind is implementation of a budget. You can have very good figures. You can have very good budget. But when it comes to resources, when they are distributed and released, you realize that the money may not be released into the areas that have been marginalized for many years, but the money may be released to those other areas. Because this is a whole year program. So the first quarter, where is the money going? Second quarter, where is the money going? Third quarter, where is the money going? Fourth quarter, where is the money going? That is very important, Honorable Speaker. And because we are a country that always has a deficit on budget, therefore, we come to this principle where you look at priorities because resources are scarce and we have a deficit. So the question is, who then bears the deficit? So you realize that I hear people celebrating, a road has been put in my place, this has been put in my place, this has been put in my place. But that is not enough. Will the money actually, the actual expenditure, the money actually be available for that road to be done? Because there are roads that were budgeted for last year, but have not been done. There are programs and projects that were budgeted for the previous budget, but they were not done because of priority and because of deficit and because of revenue coming in is less. So you realize sometimes, Honorable Speaker, and this is a principle that we must guard against, that when the money is little, only certain areas benefit. Although the project is in the budget, certain areas benefit. But I also want to note, Honorable Speaker, certain areas where money has been put. For example, a lot of money has gone into the blue economy. We know if the issues of blue economy are properly implemented and we have a good legal regime, we have good laws in the blue economy area, Honorable Speaker, we are likely to benefit as a country and we're likely to spark growth. Because when the fishermen, you know, with blue economy, there's something interesting about it. You don't spend your money to grow the fish. The fish grows. It's not like a cow. You know, a cow, you have to feed the cow. You have to buy feeds. You have to have somebody to shepherd them. You have to have structures. But the fish is in the sea, is in the lake. You spend nothing to grow the fish. The only thing that you need is equipment and tools to go and get it. Now, if you do that, economic growth is faster in that sector than in any other sector because you don't spend to grow the fish. And this is an important thing that we need to learn as a country. We are lagging behind in stimulating the economy, the blue economy. And this is an economy that can help this country grow faster and move forward very, very fast. And actually benefit the whole country because the products and byproducts that come from the blue economy are huge. But many a times, Honorable Speaker, we don't see that. If I was given an opportunity to sit at budget and say, okay, if I were to allocate 100 billion, where would I put it? Would I put it in cows or would I put it in fish? Honorable Speaker, if I put in cows, it means I'll spend a lot of recurrent resources to grow the cow until maturity, until I start, slaughtering or milking, and then I have to feed the cow, I have to do all that. But if I put it in the blue economy, I only need to buy equipment, go to the fish, pick the fish, come, prepare it, sell it, and make the money. And for the first time, Honorable Speaker, I have seen there's a drive to actually benefit from that economy, the blue economy sector, Honorable Speaker. And that, for me, is very important. Honorable Speaker, another important thing that I see this budget has done is to put money in the SHA. You know, Honorable Speaker, one of the highest consumer of resources for families, for earners, is health sector. And many times, Honorable Speaker, families are left in tatters because they have spent all their money, they have sold the only cow they have sold the only goat they have to take somebody to hospital, Honorable Speaker. But if we have a universal health care program, we have a health care system that takes care of the less fortunate in the society, Honorable Speaker, then we get it right. Honorable Speaker, take note, Honorable Speaker, that in the United States, healthcare system makes the president or removes the president. You know, you hear the Obamacare things, and when Trump comes, it removes it, and when Biden came in, he had his own system. Healthcare is everything for a country, and especially the other nations. In the United States, healthcare alone, your policies and programs on healthcare alone will either make you president or bring you down as president. Now, we are reaching that level as a country, where we need a healthcare system. Healthcare now will become an important campaign tool. When we get it right, if we get it right, this share, we get it right, Honorable Speaker, no one will ever erase that history, that important history that we are writing now using share. And this 13th Parliament, Honorable Speaker, will be counted as that Parliament that got it right for the people of Kenya, for the citizens of Kenya, that we brought down the cost of healthcare and allowed everybody to benefit from the national coffers to ensure that everybody is healthy and everybody is able to pay his bills, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, one of the other things that I would like to speak about, budget can also help you to gauge efficiency of government. Budget, efficiency of government. How efficient is the government? One of the key principles of bringing in an efficient government is to have a lean government. The leaner the government, the lesser wastage you have. We need to examine our government. Probably, Honorable Speaker, I know you were there in the making of the 2010 Constitution, but probably this was not looked at. Efficiency at the helm of, or at the pedestal of, a lean government. We have a huge government as a country, huge government. The county governments are making it even bigger. Functions are duplicated. And there is even more. Even this chamber and the other chamber, there is duplication. And we continue to spend money on duplicated roles. Honorable Speaker, we need to have a budget that actually spells out the word lean inside it, so that we move from the bloated government that we have to a lean government. We'll become more efficient, resources will be moved properly, we move a lot of
Add 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, we need to move a lot of the things that we are doing as government to the private sector. The private sector will ensure growth. But everybody, Honorable Speaker, today wants to join government, because you can be government, in government you can afford to be lazy, you can skip work, you can do all those things and still get salary. The private sector works differently. Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask this Parliament to sit here and decide what government needs to look at and what are those things that need to go to private sector. When we move things to the private sector, Honorable Speaker, we will be more efficient, we will save money, and Honorable Speaker, will become a better government than we are. Honorable Speaker, I support this budget and thank the attorney-led committee for a good job, and I wish the new CS, who was here teaching me about matters Parliament then 2-3 years ago, CS Mbadi, all the best as he steers the ship at the helm of the Treasury. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Jematia will be followed by Honorable Joseph Oyola in that order because of gender and ranking considerations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And from the onset, I want to say that I am a member of this committee, and I also want to thank my chair, Honorable Tandy. Of course, I'm talking about Honorable Mbadi because my fellow member spoke about him minutes away. Mr. Speaker, this year's budget is defined by equity and the well distribution of the resources. In the budget today, I just want to highlight generally, because most members who have spoken before me have elaborated most of the items in the budget. But because I'm a member, Mr. Speaker, I was able to interact further and to able to also give generalities or general view on the bigger picture of the budget. This year budget, Mr. Speaker, is 4.23 trillion. The whole budget that contains 405 billion for the counties. As you know, since the inception of the 2010 Constitution, we were able to have counties that is now reliably independent, they're able, and semi-autonomous, they're able to develop and have their own source revenue. As much as that, through the national government, we were able to allocate their fair share of money to their counties. And we also expect the counties to take this prudently and make sure this money is working fairly for Kenyans. We also had 48 billion for recruitment of 20,000 interns. For the longest time, we want to absorb these members of the society who have worked and gone to school. And this budget has considered that these interns are also going to be very important to be given opportunity to serve the country as they learn and the ropes towards making sure that the services given to Kenyans is achieved. In UHC also, there was a lot of improvement through 6 billion for employment of medical service men and women who are going to give us better services in healthcare systems, and they are going to improve specific areas of SHA and SHIV, Taifa Care. This is where the government of the day, Kenya Kwanza government, has realized that health is a prominent and a must-do while as giving services to Kenyans. Ministry of Health is going to have this money to make difference, specifically in universal health services. We also had 52 billion for TVETs to improve quality and give quality to students who are and diploma students who have enrolled in these institutions to make better their lives in terms of handcraft skills, improve, and also make sure most of every part of this country has an opportunity to interact with a TVET, not only through students and young people, even old people nowadays can enroll in school and get skills, because these institutions has enabled Kenyans who are able to interact with these TVETs to understand that they can do this thing even when we are already employed or something. You can take your time over when you have a leave break to go and train yourself and have a better skills, because TVET is giving you an opportunity through all skills that is provided there. And the government has given 52 billion. Mr. Speaker, we also have last mile connectivity, which was considered in the budget with 63 billion, which is fairly distributed equally in the country. And also consider that most parts of the country some parts of the country with a better connectivity was allocated their fair share according to how far their connectivity has gone. For the least connected areas of the country, this is the most equitable and fair budget, because it is going to be considered. If your area is probably less than 60%, we are going to, this budget is going to give you opportunity to improve better, while the ones with 90% and above probably is going to be able to manage and maintain. And we also realize, Mr. Speaker, that the biggest problem in Kenya today is not resource allocation. It is the maintenance of the infrastructure that government and every government that has come allocate resources. If you go to schools, for instance, the schools are members or leaders built probably 10 years ago. If you visit that school today, you realize it is more vandalized than when we were building it. It is because we want to urge Kenyans and tell them, these are monies that come from your pockets, these are taxes that come from all of us as a country, but when you are having and using a facility, for instance in school, 8 teachers and all teachers are supposed to make sure that utilities in schools are always preserved better, always maintained, and always given opportunity, so that for posterity, we are not always going to allocate money all the time, but we are always able to manage and have better institutions. And also so that we don't always build every day. We are also able to build to last. And equal to roads, equals to connectivity of electricity, because when you have all this, you realize people vandalize all the time. And this is because people think it is free money. It is not free money. These are monies that come from